Judge second sets the emotional and theological foundation for the entire book. It explains why Israel keeps falling into chaos and suffering. They abandon God. This chapter introduces the recurring cycle that defines Israel history during this time, okay? It's raining today. Look at it. It's raining a lot. But let's continue with it. First part of this chapter covers that God confronts Israel. An angel of the Lord comes to from Gilgal to Bachin and delivers a rebuke. I brought you out of Egypt. I said I would never break my covenant with you, but you did not obey me. Israel had made covenants with the Canaanites and had not torn down their altars as God commanded. So now, God says He will no longer drive out the remaining nations. These nations will become traps and thorns. The people weep. Botching means weeping. Botching means weeping. And they offer sacrifices. So the second part of this chapter covers a new generation rises and forgets God. After Joshua and his generation died, another generation grew up who did not know the Lord or what He had done. They began to worship the Baals, Canaanite gods. Key turning point: the faith of one generation was not passed on the next. So, the third part of the chapter covers the cycle of the Judges. Here's the main pattern of the book of Judges. First one is Israel sins. They serve Baals and abandon God. Second, God becomes angry. He allows enemies to oppress them. Third, Israel suffers. They are defeated, enslaved, and cry out. Fourth, God sends a judge, a deliverer who rescues them. Fifth, peace returns as long as the judge lives. Sixth, cycle restarts. When the judge lives, they fall back into sin. But when the judge died, the people returned to ways even more corrupt. So, fourth part of this chapter covers God leaves nation to test Israel. God declares He will no longer drive out all the nations before Israel. Why? To test Israel, to see whether it will walk in His ways. The remaining nations will act like a spiritual mirror. If Israel obeys, they thrive. If not, they fall. Okay? Key lessons from Judge 2nd. First one is disobedience always brings consequences. God is patient but not indifferent to rebellion. Second, sin is a cycle without repentance. Without real change, Israel repeats the same mistakes. Third, faith must be passed on. A faithful generation like Joshua's must teach the next, or the truth is lost. Fourth lesson: God's anger is just, His mercy real. He disciplines Israel, but always raises up deliverers. Let me say this again. Fourth lesson: God's anger is just, His mercy real. He disciplines Israel, but always raises up deliverers when they cry out. Deliverers. Okay, Judge 2nd explains why things fall apart after Joshua. Israel forgets, disobeys, and falls into the cycle of sin, but it also reveals God's grace. He doesn't abandon them completely, okay? Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next one.